Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic Magical Coffee Hour. I am Drake, and I'm so glad you all could join us. Hopefully, we're going to have some fun tonight. On here, we're going to be taking some Q&A, talking with the community, and going over some of the announcement stuff. So, um, just so you know, keep the questions in the PG area. If you have questions that aren't necessarily safe for work or safe for family, head over to our locals community channel. That's where you can post, well, anything, quite frankly. Over there, whether you're a member or a paid supporter over there, there is a link only for our locals members. It's only Working Dragon Mystic locals, period. Um, and they have to be active on locals for a Discord server where you can go in there. Okay. And we got a wonderful community asking questions, helping each other out, and those kinds of things. All right. Also, we do have super chats. If you want to give us a super chat to support the work we do, that's awesome. Any super chat of $5 or more gets you entered into um, the spell working we do every Monday for prosperity, well being, health, general day to day boosts, if you will. You can also include a question in your super chat, flashes it up real fancy on the screen, and that's any super chat, really. Put the lowest amount, it'll flash it on screen. Because sometimes we get busy and I miss questions. I do apologize. I do the best I can. Um, I'm not the super best with technology, but we got some amazing things to talk about tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you are here, be sure to give us a thumbs up. That thumbs up does help that algorithm, helps get the content we create out to more people, helps more people find us. And the more we can do, the better. Violet, good to see you, Violet Star. Immortal, glad you could make it. Angela, good to see you. What is this? May Squirrel always have glitter and Drake always have his hat. May Jade always have clocks to throw. I love it. That's pretty good. When Squirrel visits, I actually forbid her to bring glitter. I'll be honest with you. Mathis, good to see you, mate. Lori B, good to see you. All right. So the first big thing we should talk about, as you all may have noticed during a live stream the last week or so, it came to my realization. I'm still trying to decide if it's a good realization or not. That the holidays are around the corner, right? It's coming up. We're winding up August. September's right there. Of course, after September, you got October. So, in all honesty, September is when most people start their fall holiday stuff, right? Um, and I don't blame them. Like Halloween and fall has some of the best decorations in my mind, so it makes sense to start doing what you can do in September. Heck, I know people already doing Halloween stuff now because every abandoned building is turning into a spirit Halloween store, if you know what I mean. That being said, we at Working Dragon Mystic, over the years, with our community, we've had so many questions about what if you don't have this person to celebrate with? What if your family doesn't celebrate the way you'd like? What is it? What if, it happens. My family doesn't celebrate the way I like. I still, when I have the opportunity, I like to spend holidays with them. Well, some of them, but I'm old enough where I can pick and choose, right? I don't have to see them all. Usually that means I go to my mom's for my holidays, and the wife. I love going to the wife's family. They're amazing. If they're going to do anything, it's going to kill you by overfeeding you. That being said, from a spiritual perspective, none of them celebrate the holidays. They don't celebrate Yule per se, and so they don't celebrate the holidays in the way that most people would think that I prefer. And honestly, it's true. I'm not really a super cheery Christmas special or holiday special kind of guy. But, and when it comes to celebrating very specific things, like say the Norse traditions or any pagan tradition, those aren't there, right? And some people aren't comfortable in the way that I am, where, I could go to church on Easter or Christmas with my mom if she wanted me to, and I wouldn't have no issue with that. And people's like, well, would she do the same if you were to invite her to ritual? No. But at the same time, I'm not offended by that in any way, right? But I get how people want to celebrate. They want to have that holiday feeling, but we just ain't got the people to do it. Well, my solution is Working Dragon Mystic is going to try and do something to celebrate the holidays with our community. Okay. We are going to do different things for the holidays. Myself and the admin are all going to try and create holiday specific content as best we can. I've had a lot of people asking me about what kind of foods do I utilize for the holidays and can I make them healthy? I'm going to try that. I'll be honest, on holidays, like Thanksgiving, I try to make it so that the food's gone that day or the unhealthy food's gone that day because it's a holiday. It's one day. Okay. But that's usually reiterated with, yeah, but then there's cookies and chocolates and everything throughout the season. You're right. I get you. I see where you're coming from. So I'm going to try and share and tinker with some of my during the holiday things that I do that helps me stay on track, eat healthy, and not lose track for the entire holiday season. Y'all know I'm Southern. Believe me, there are foods and candies like starting in September, it's a smorgasbord until after New Year's. It really is. So I'm going to be sharing some of those things, also some of the stuff that I do during the holidays. And I'm even actually going to hit the kitchen and tinker with some experimental recipes, possibly share those with you all. But we're one of the big things we're doing, and those on locals, you should have just seen the post. We are actually going to have a costume contest for Halloween. All right. Halloween is the first big one coming up. So we wanted to make sure we nailed that one down first. Okay. And I'm pulling up my locals on my phone here so that I can read this so I don't miss anything. Now, to do the costume contest, you join locals as a free member or as a paid supporter. You join the Discord over there, and there's a special category in the Discord where you post the category you're entering for and you describe your costume. The reason we want a description is because if you do an anime or something and we don't know the character, I would like to understand the reference of the costume you're going for. I love to understand the reference. So give us a description if you would, right? Now, members, the admin team will be judging the winner of all the categories amongst the members, okay? The categories, just so you all know, grab a pen and paper if you want to write these down, or it's on locals, quite literally. I'm looking at it on locals. The categories are best overall costume, heroes and villains, horror movies. Yes, horror movies. We're actually not doing this candied, fluffy Halloween. We want real Halloween. Make Halloween great again. So you want an 80s, 70s horror movie, and you want some gore in there, go ahead. We don't care. Best couples and pair costume, best historical, and some of the only rules we're putting on this, no pornographic or overly adult images. There are plenty of costumes out there that are sexy / whatever. They're not overly graphic. They're not pornographic. Those costumes are fine. I've seen guys and ladies both enjoy that styling of costume. If that's what you want to do, we're not going to stop you from doing it. Again, we're trying to bring Halloween back to the old school fun that it used to be. The second one, and this one kind of hurts my feels a little bit, but screw it. We don't want any underage kids in any of the photos due to it's on the internet, right? It's on the internet somewhere. We're wanting to consider child safety, that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, as much as some of these little ones that come around on Halloween are just adorable, and some of them put so much work into the costumes, currently this is adults only. Okay. That's the best we can do. That's the only 2 rules you got. Your entry does need to be in by October 28th at 11:59. And we are actually giving out prizes. We got some plaques and stuff we're going to give out for all the winners. So you actually will be getting a prize. Okay. Second part of this And this is something I'm really excited about, and I need the community's help big time. All right. This is me asking you for help. I don't usually do this. I need you to help me. Okay. This is important. The admin team is having a costume contest. I am not participating because this is going to be one of the first times that I can truly give back to the admin, right? They do a lot. They don't get to take part in the monthly duck race giveaways. They don't get to take part in all the contests that we do, any of that stuff, right? Because it's not fair. The admin are judging. There's a bias. So I am going to buy a prize for this costume contest. They don't know what it is. I'm going to make it good. I'm going to really use the chance that I finally get to give back to the admin. However, the community, you all, not me, you all, will be voting on costumes. Okay? You will be voting on the costumes. You all will determine who wins the admin costume contest. Those pictures will again be posted over, they'll be posted in Discord, and they may be posted on the local site. We're not sure if we want to split them up or just keep everything in one place. But yeah, I need your all's help for that one. Big time. I'm actually considering pitching an idea to the admin about doing a spooky story thing or something, sharing spooky tales and whatnot, live, or in a pre-recorded setup of some kind. We're going to look into some stuff. We may do it via a Zoom call that's open to the locals community, so you can pop in and catch it, and we can record it at the same time. And we are looking at doing more roundtable chats, and we definitely want to get some of the spooky topic roundtable chats done. There's a lot of topics that definitely will fit this season. So we've got a lot going on, and that's just getting started. And we're already talking about a Christmas contest, Christmas costume contest, right? And yes, we are having spooky Christmas in that costume contest. Krampus needs his kudos just as much as Santa and the rest of them, right? So we got a lot planned for this holiday season. And we're also we're looking into the logistics on how to do a New Year's Eve live stream with the admin. Obviously, I could probably do one here. As to the admin, we can't get, everybody here because this is just kind of a single setup the way this works. But we are probably going to look at doing a community live stream over Zoom again. So the admin and me are all there. You all can join in and chat with us. And we're actually going to go East Coast to West Coast here in the United States, try and ring in the New Year's for the whole thing. That's our plan. I've told everybody to try and get the time off work so they can pop in there. And we're wanting to celebrate New Year's with you all. For those of you not in the U.S., I apologize. We honestly do not have the ability to just go and ring in every New Year across the globe. My apologies. So we had to settle for East Coast to West Coast. It'll be a long night for us, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, we are ramping up to actually give all the community a way to celebrate. And more importantly, for those of you who don't know how to celebrate, don't have anyone to celebrate with, you know what? I'm not saying we're a replacement for family or anything, but at the same time, we're happy to celebrate with you in what way we can. Okay. All right. That's a lot of talking that I did. Let's see what you all had to say about it and see if you guys got any questions. Also, thumbs up, people. We got 16 people in here watching currently. We've had a few more that came and went. Hit that thumb up button. It helps us out a lot. Blessings. Hi, Drake. How are y'all doing? Doing great, Jackie. Doing great. Let's see. Hi, all good. See you good. Most of this is hellos. That's good. You should make the cookie clocks. What's this? Make the cookie clocks, Drake, with chocolate covered Oreos. Huh. I'm gonna look. There's a beef fudge. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up. We just did our annual summer family gathering, and yes, here in the South, it is all you can eat. Yes, it is. It is. There's tons of bacon. Yeah, bacon and chocolate go together really, really good. Really good. It's amazing. It's one of those combos you don't think would work, and then it does. Let's see, it contains brisket, marshmallow fluff, lemon bar, herbs. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would try it. It doesn't sound good, but I'd try it. There's a lot of things that don't sound good that I've tried. Some of them are not good. Actually, most of them. But then there's some that surprised me. So I'm one of those like I'll try it. I'll try anything once. Megan, I swear I gained 20 pounds from Halloween candy alone. See, Megan, that's what I'm trying to do. I can't fix Halloween candy, but I have over the years found ways that I eat a little healthier during the holidays because any progress I make was getting lost during the holidays. Um, and it's not the one day. Like if you only ate Thanksgiving and you only ate Christmas dinner and you put no restrictions on it except you ate that day, you'd be fine. But it's everything in between that is just constantly there that really screws with me and most people that I've spoke with. So yeah. Let's see, Angela. We need an admin thank you day because the admin are awesome. Mod love. Oh, Angela, that is sweet. You know what? We do need to try and do something to thank them more often. We do. You're right. I try to thank them every admin meeting we have. And I remind them that honestly and truly, like, the Discord channel, the Gilded before it got deleted, and the original Discord before it disappeared, they put the work in. They built that. I was the one that didn't think anyone would give a damn about it. So, and they're volunteers. They all volunteer. They believe in this community so much that, they really, really want to see this succeed, not only because it's helped them, but they, in the process, have seen how many people it's helped. And honestly, there's days where like it's been really rough on me to get things done. And it's like, is this still worth it? And then the admin, they remind me hands down, yes, it's worth it. And, of course, like they remind me that around Thursday or Friday because they're all chatting and talking. And then by Sunday, I get back here and it's just you all add right onto it and show me how great this community is. So thank you. Let's see. It just sounds like fun. I'm glad you all think this is sounding like fun because I'm really hoping you guys to enjoy it. I want to try and get us all to enjoy the holidays, right? That's one thing I want to do. Some of the things I will be talking about is how to enjoy the holidays. We've all gotten into this habit, and a lot of it comes from the media. A lot of it comes from a bunch of bullshit we hear through the holidays that we dread the holidays and we don't actually seek to enjoy them. But I think we've taken our eye off the prize and the meaning a bit too much. And those are things I'm going to be talking about through the season. You guys are going to get an inside look to Drake's mind about the holidays and how I handle it. And some of the things I've done sarcastically. But yeah. Let's see. And I look forward to seeing you all in the costume contest. I really do. So many of y'all are so creative, and I know many of you take part in like Renaissance fairs. Many of you do like Gen Con conventions and stuff like that. Some of y'all just like to create random stuff, and I really look forward to your creativity. And yes, just so we're clear, like the reason I'm doing old school Halloween is I am absolutely 100% pissed at modern, fluffy, cartoon, just overly sanitized, washed Halloween. Okay. Halloween's supposed to be more fun. And yeah, the PC Halloween that we got, I'm not a fan of it. So that is deliberate. I flat out told the admin, anyone recommends any PC rules, just get up and get out of here. Seriously, I'm not doing it. We are going old school Halloween, people. So for those of you who are Gen X or even older millennials, the ones that's right on that cusp, that's probably raised by their Gen X brothers and sisters, you know what I'm talking about. Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, blood, guts, gore, pranks. When you're actually allowed to get out and scare little children as part of the holiday setup, we're going to have some fun here. So yeah, definitely Halloween spirit overload. We want to see it. We want to see it. Also, if you guys decorate your houses, we're not doing a contest, but I would love to see it. I used to decorate my mom's house all the time. We were always said to have one of the better houses, the scarier, spookier houses. We move around so much I can't decorate anymore, but that's okay. So I would definitely love to see your all's decorations. And if you all are okay with it, I'll even share them during a live stream sometime. Oh, I've actually got a buddy sitting in with me on this one, fellow practitioner and definitely a country boy. Hey, what? Mugs up to your buddy. Never got much opportunity for Halloween stuff and kid because paranoid retired military father in this ability has limited it as an adult, and most of my family are online looking forward to this. See, there we go. This is something we can do, and you don't have to get out. You don't have to do any of that. So, like you said, retired vet, disability, this gives you a chance to get out there, find a costume, really deck out, and have some fun with the season. Please, I look forward to it. I really do, Loveless. I look forward to it. Oh, and to make Oreo clocks covered it. See, here I said, mentioning, I'm trying to eat healthy, and we're talking Oreo, which Oreo clocks is freaking genius. It really is. There's a lot of ways I'm thinking I can do that. Like my brain's already clicking. Like I could dip the Oreo in chocolate, maybe a dark chocolate, or even a milk chocolate. I'd have to figure out. I personally think like a Hershey Special Dark would complement an Oreo itself best. And then do like a white chocolate design on that for the clock face. See, like, it'd be really easy to do. My friend and I have frequently discussed how much we want to do more for the holidays and wish communities did more with it these days. Hey, there you go. You're right on the page. So tell your friend if he's interested, sign up, join us for the shenanigans. We're going to have some fun. I'm contemplating actually taking the community and walking through how I do my shadow work. You all have heard every year during the equinoxes, I try to do shadow work. And the big shadow work I do every year is around Samhain and Halloween, right? I do like anywhere from a 2 to 4 week long shadow working process. So one of the things that I'm wanting to try and do, I'm wanting to try and do a few workshops over at the locals channels because, I can't have some of this discussion on YouTube. My apologies. But over at locals, I'm wanting to have some discussions where I try and share as much of that process as I can. Like I have it in journals and notes and everything, but it's never anything I've tried to translate through into making it make sense when I describe it to someone else. But for the first time this year, I'm actually going to try and walk you all through my process and what I'm doing. And so you can apply it to your practice and make alterations if you want. There's been some discussion potentially of actually doing like an actual Samhain ritual that me and the admin may take part in a Zoom call so that you all can sign in and we have a community style ritual potentially. Same thing for Yule. So we are looking at actually genuinely trying to do a full thing as a community. This is our first year doing it. There will be bumps. So we are open to suggestions. We're open to critiques. We're going to fine tune this as the years go on, we hope. Assuming it actually gets anywhere. Because like if you all like it's like that stunk, we don't want to ever do that again. Then we won't do it. But from the sounds of it, you guys are pretty much down for it. So there we go. Those are some of the things we are thinking. Let's see. Loveless holiday season was when aforementioned father got more abusive because of his own trauma. And yeah, holidays are full of ooh, and I adore that you're doing something to encourage enjoyment. Yep. I've said it before, like holidays, you've all seen me. Holidays are not my happy season. I have a lot of wonderful memories of the holidays, but I also have a lot of shit memories of holidays. And one thing I learned in my time, my practice with the Norse and especially the dragons, I focus too much on the negative and I don't focus on the positive. And as an adult, I let the negative control me. I don't like letting things control me. So I'm going to shift gears, and I've done it for a few years now, where I've started to enjoy the holidays. I've gone back to basics. And if there's a shit turd in the pool that is going to ruin my holidays, I avoid the shit turd. I don't avoid the holidays. And I'm going to try and bring that enjoyment of the holidays back to the people that matter. And you guys, my community, you matter. And that's part of it. We're going to be talking about some of that stuff as well. So very cool. I'm glad to hear. I'm not surprised to hear this because so many of y'all have made these comments. You guys inspired this thought process. So thank you. Oven baked apples are great. Oh God, oven baked apples are good. They really are. Some people say just get over it, ain't that easy. No, there's a lot of things you got to work through. You really do. You got to work through it. You got to figure out what bothers you still about it. I actually heard a quote not long ago, and like him or hate him, I want to say it was Jordan B. Peterson that said it. If a memory that is more 6 months or more old still triggers an emotional response, there's a piece of you tied up in that memory. And I loved that statement because I don't know what his views on spiritual concepts or occultism is, but what I do know is that's a very true fact. And when we look at shadow work, it bleeds right into that. But if you look at like soul retrieval or soul shards, that kind of a concept from a shamanic point of view, it really ties into that too. So that's kind of a barometer I've used over the years. Is like, if I think about an incident, does that still bother me emotionally? If so, why? And if it bothers me, I try to figure it out because the memory, fine. There's plenty of things I still remember, but I've gotten to the point where they no longer bother me because it's just a memory. There's no part of me tied up in it. And I thought it was really cool how he stated it. Unfortunately, I don't know what interview or whatever it was because it's just like a little clip it. I want to find the interview. So if anyone knows the interview, let me know so I can search it. Yeah, you're making me hungry. The evil has begun. I would love a shadow work tutorial. It is coming. Stay tuned over at Locals. If you haven't already joined Locals, you can find the link below the videos. Go over there. Become a public member or a paid supporter. We're going to have holiday content on both. I'm going to be doing shadow work content on both. Some shadow work content I do kind of got to push over into the supporter area because that shit gets a little but yeah. Shadow work is going to be a big focus of mine outside the food. I think those are the two things that I'm really going to try and focus on for my content, because the whole season is going to be all of us trying to teach how to enjoy. So obviously the enjoyment of the season is going to be something we're all doing, right? Or we better all be doing. They better not get lazy on me. But so my two like focused topics outside the enjoyment of the season is going to be that. A Samhain ritual would be awesome. Cool. I'm glad you get. All right. Cool. So I will get with the admin soon to start discussing how we will do the ritual, actually, to see if we can pull that off. Right now, if we use Zoom And I think we can do a ritual. I think we can do the ritual on Zoom very, very easily. We can put the link in there. People can jump in, pop out as needed. Zoom does have a limit. I don't know what the limit is. I want to say it's like 40 to 80, something like that. So it may be first come, first serve, but we'll also try to record it so that you can watch it after. And I want to try and do the ritual um, either the night before Halloween or early. That way, if you want to, you can watch it and utilize it the night of as well, if that makes sense. Um, but we may try to do the night of to do it live too. Those are some of the logistics we got to hammer out. Um, Mathis, I'd be down for that. Actually, meant to join locals this week, but had to get prep work for family gathering. No, hey, I understand. We all get. I've been busy as tarnations around here. I really have. I have not gotten half the stuff done I want to get done. It's getting crazy. Um, and honestly, I've been told this holiday season is going to be awful by so many people because they're like, the world's going crazy. The U.S. is going crazy. It's election season. It's going to suck. There's bad blood everywhere. You know what? Yeah, that's called life, people. Life has problems. There's always going to be problems. And you know what? Yes, this holiday season is probably going to be rough for any of those who've been around the occult community. You know, the weirdos really turn up during the holiday season. So if you run an occult community like we do, whoo, you get to see some prize winners. There was actually one guy popped up in one of the community chats trying to recruit people to his church of drugs. Well, you all know I'm not really pro drug. Um, whoo, the discussion he had. Oh my God. Um, so yeah, you know, things are crazy. And I agree. This year's going to be interestingly crazy, I think. And I think that's all the more reason for us to enjoy community and the holidays. I really do. Um, YouTube selling ritual. Well, I don't know if it'll be on YouTube. I have considered doing it on YouTube. I have. At least uploading it to YouTube after it's done. Might have to do two of them. Part of that's because it depends on like what's in the ritual, how the ritual's done, how many people are on screen, those kinds of things. You know, right now the way my YouTube live set up, I think I can only put just me on the screen. So we're going to try. Where we jumped. I got lost. Oh, there it is. You can combine shadow work and ritual, but for a group ritual, it's not really recommended because then you're kicking up shadow and wiping shadow on each other, and that's just you don't want to be doing that. But I will be putting some ritual work in the shadow work talks. If it's in the group ritual, it'll be the closing of it, not any actual working on the shadow. It'll be the official closing of the event. If that makes sense, Sharnu. Good question, though. Let's see. Ginger snap. I love me some ginger snaps. I am a ginger snap fan. Though Oreos are my crack in a lot of ways as a fat guy. I'm trying to unfat myself, as we all know. But Oreos are my crack because if you're not on a diet, try this. Get you some black coffee, get you an Oreo, and dunk. The two pair together amazingly. And seriously, that's my crack. Megan, I suck at baking. I really do. I'm not good at baking. I'm not good at following directions. Um, so my wife does a lot of the baking. If we do any baking videos, I may have to Shanghai Jade and grab her ear and twist it and pull her arm behind her until she says uncle and agrees to do it. Because I'm not a baker. As to Squirrel, well, Squirrel caught a paper plate on fire in the microwave, and I'm all I can figure is that thing had foil in it because it's around the holidays, and she swears it didn't, but microwaves don't work that way, so I don't know what she did wrong. But yeah, she's like, I'm convinced the fire department knows when she makes popcorn. That's her skill in the kitchen. So yeah, the baking I'm going to have to try and Shanghai Jade into, but I'm not a very good baker. I can cook on a fire. I can cook out in the wilderness. You'd be surprised the stuff I can cook. Baking is one of those skills I'm still working on. Actually, I don't eat a lot of baked goods, so I never really refined it as much as my other culinary skills. Ruby Lord, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Hey, autocorrect and typing on a phone or the internet, I'm horrible at it. You've seen my post, people. You've seen my post. So don't worry about it, Megan. We all about screwed up typing up in here. We don't judge. We don't judge. Mugs up to you. Okay, I wish I was lying about what the guy said about Church of Drugs. I wish that was a lie and a joke, but it wasn't. Like, that's actually the very toned down version of it. At the same time, you're right. That is kind of really a good band name. It really is. Hey, better late than never. Both my buddy and I have tried this. We attest that coffee dunked Oreos is heavenly. Right? That is the jam. Honestly, that's probably one of the few things that once I get down to my goals, I may allow myself to have a treat. I may, because that is just one of it, it's a happy little place for me. Not listening. Now imagine Oreos made with ginger snap. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Huh. I'm at because you could actually buy a bag of ginger snaps, buy some Oreos, deconstruct them, put the frosting on the ginger snaps, and go to town. And if you did that and then junk the ginger snaps into a chocolate to coat, let that set up and dry, oh, heavens to Betsy, we got us a holiday treat for the year, don't we? That sounds pretty daggone good. I might have to try this and get some pictures to prove it happened, people. We might have to look at ginger snap chocolate dunked Oreos. If anybody else tries it, send me pictures. Let me know how it was. Jade could make, yeah, we're going to have to tell her to make cookie clocks. And now, I don't know if she needs to be throwing them at me. I mean, we could probably throw them at Squirrel, but I don't know if we need to throw them at me. It can be hard. I've actually had holiday seasons, Megan. So there's a lot going on during that time frame. That's a hard truth. But they can still be highly enjoyable. And I've actually had very, very enjoyable holiday seasons, even during election years, because of a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about over the season. So it actually helps the season go by really wonderfully. So yeah, stick with us. I'm hopefully I'll make you a believer. Hopefully I'll make you a believer. I'm not just going to blow sunshine up your ass and say holidays are awesome. We're going to have fun. I ain't going to do that. I'm actually going to walk you through it, and I'm going to see if I can get you to enjoy the entirety of the holiday season and prove to you through my actions instead of just trust me. Y'all know I don't do that around here. I don't go with just trust me. I said it. No, we focus on manifestation. We focus on results, and I'm going to do the same thing with these holiday events. Um, let's see. Angela, I made that by buying ginger snap cookies, buttercream frosting, chilling them in the fridge, and that sounds really. You might be on something. I would say I tell my wife about that, but she's not a ginger cookie fan. Like I'm the ginger snap fan again because ginger snaps dunk amazingly in coffee. Like there's a theme with the cookies I enjoy. They go good with coffee. You know what I mean? Um, Immortal. Next year you're gonna see me on TV saying I have diabetes. Who remembers the old diabetes oatmeal guy on those commercials? I don't think he's still with us, but I remember him. Let's see. Do you know of any stories or fictional works that depict dragons and draconic rulers accurately? Because I'm writing a story about dragons and want to depict them accurately. Is that something they would find offensive? I don't think they would find it offensive to depict them accurately in a story. How they're being used, like if they're being used accurately, and I don't think that would bother them. They're not even offended by the works that are out there. Like they're not offended by Game of Thrones. They don't view the wyvern or style dragons in there as true dragons. But people call it a dragon, so they take it as a dragon because that's what the work of fiction says. And even though they're not the most intelligent being depicted in that series, which I've never seen, I'm only seeing like commercials and clips and whatever my friends have forced me to watch in a 5-minute video. They're not offended by those. They're not offended by um, a lot of the old stories and myths from like in Norse mythology. You do have the dragon Fafnir that was actually a dwarf transformed by his greed into a drake or worm form. So it wasn't a true dragon, but a lot of people view Fafnir as a true dragon. Now, true, Ingus the Lord did not like being referred to by that name. Um, but the story itself does not bother them because, again, the story is still teaching a very important lesson. They understand that dragons in a lot of media and a lot of stories are used as an analogy for something bigger, overcoming something. And they understand that amongst many cultures. So they don't take offense to that. Um, that being said, I am completely unaware of any work that actually depicts the dragons accurately after working with them for so long. And I work that mentions the rulers. Though I would say they probably first 4 rulers as opposed to all 9. But that aside, that would be I don't think they'd take an offense to it at all. I think they would enjoy it. You're dealing with very wise, very intellectual entities, and they understand that wisdom is shared through story. One of the things that I've told people is I keep my most important works and notes in paper and pencil or ink. I don't keep it anywhere. I don't keep it on a cloud. I don't keep it on a hard drive because the world can reach a point where tech just ain't accessible. Like a lot of people put it on Google Drives. Well, if Google shuts down Google Drives, everything you had just disappears. If there's a power outage, you can't access your stuff. There's so many ways that this modern tech has us so dependent on it, they can flip a switch and we lose everything. Never get to the point where we fully replace true bound books for that which is important. So, do understand that. And that's a way to share, pass down, and hand down traditions. and knowledge and wisdom. It's a very important thing. He was in the. I mean, that was there's a good. Yep, I had to look that up. That's pretty cool. See, Mathis, I have a tradition of watching horror films during Halloween and eating the different snacks and candies associated in it while watching. I do this with a lot of movies. That's actually a pretty cool one. It really is. Like, I love some good horror movies. Like, they don't, like, we've had a drought in horror movies because everybody's afraid to offend people. Everyone's afraid to be scared. Everyone's afraid to cry. Like, I want good horror movies where I go in and, like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They got in there and it's like, this is the most macabre. I mean, it was amazing, right? They gave you a warning that you're going to have to literally stop and pick up your sanity in this movie because we ain't seen no shit like that at that time. But that was it. Like, you watched it, you went home, and you dealt with whatever messed you, scrambled your brain, right? And then I found out as a few years back when they did a remake, they had freaking psychiatrists waiting and safe spaces to talk to people about their feelings. It's like, no, I don't want to talk about my feelings. I want to go home. We've had this real drought of horror movies, and good ones. I mean, there are some that, they've been okay and they've popped up. I was actually in the car the other day and, they're advertising the new Alien Romulus. Okay. I loved the original Alien movie with Sigourney Weaver. I absolutely loved them. Ripley was an amazing character in my mind. And I've tried to watch some of the newer Alien movies coming out. I'm trying to follow. I'm trying to get into the groove. But this one is actually labeled as the scariest Alien movie yet. That's how they're advertising it. I'll be honest, I want to see it just because of that advertising line, because there's been such a drought of scary movies. I want to determine, is this actually scary or are you just yanking my chain? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I love some scary movies. Like one, it's not a scary movie. It's a Halloween movie. Me, Squirrel, and Bourne got together and we was watching some holiday movies. Squirrel wanted to do a holiday movie night, so we was watching them via like this Netflix share thing she had. And it was, what was it? Huey's Halloween or Doofy's Halloween, something like that. It was Adam Sandler. Like, I'd never heard of this thing. It sounded dumb as shit. But I watched that movie, and if you want a good, cheesy, B grade Halloween movie, check out that Adam Sandler movie. It kind of reminded me of Army of Darkness. It just had that goofy, heavy on the cheese, funny for a Halloween movie. Not horror, but so yeah, I love me some movies during the holidays. Which I'll probably be sharing some of if I watch any, I'll probably part of what I do, if I plan on doing, it's on my to-do list over here. If I watch a movie this Halloween, to whether I binge watch a series or something, I'm going to be sharing. It's like, I'm going to tell you all, this is what I'm doing for the season. This is what I'm doing now. That way, if you all want to binge watch it and we jump into a chat somewhere over in locals, it's like, what do you think of the movie? Yeah. So yeah, we got traditions around here, and yeah, like Die Hard. That's one of our Christmas movies. Oh yeah, they can find. I mean, that's why the channel's here, is to find that info. The dragons aren't necessarily hiding. As a librarian, I can tell you that digitization is not a guarantee that it's there forever. Amen, JC. It is not. It's actually one of the easiest ways to eliminate it or alter it. That's another thing. Someone had a screenshot of something they had saved because they were working on it offline. And they went back a couple months later, and it had been changed from another. They hadn't changed it; someone else had changed it to essentially corrupt the data and the results that they were studying. That is creepy to me. That is fucking creepy. I'm not cool with that. Um, let's see. Loveless. I binge watched Stranger Things for my horror fix because I hate the most modern seems to be stalkers and jump scares. No, thank you. Give me the scary supernatural. See, I've never seen Stranger Things. I'll be honest with you. Ernest Scared Stupid. Yes, that's on my Halloween list. I love Ernest P. Worrell. I do. Jim Varney was an amazing actor and comedian. He had so much range. But the gift of Ernest P. Worrell to the world and the ability to have this lovable, kind hearted, extremely vulnerable character. Yes, he's not intelligent. Made for some amazing movies and memories for so many people. So, yes, Ernest Scared Stupid is on my Halloween list. That's actually one you don't hear about a lot. Considering he got his start in commercials in the South, I'm not surprised us Southern boys are the ones that have him on the list. I may have to watch Stranger Things, though. I've heard a lot about it. Oh, we jumped. Crap. I miss movies that divide into emotion. One or made you laugh and cry and yeah, you need to get in there and really, I loved it. They used to make you think. Every Halloween, I watch two movies: The Original Exorcist and Rocky Horror Picture Show. Okay, Exorcist, good movie. Rocky Horror, also good movie. Any Rocky Horror fan, I don't know if they still do it, but a lot of places used to do Rocky Horror live. I used to adore going to the live performances. I will say in this area where we're at, because the military stationed us here before, um, like one year they were doing amazing some Rocky Horror performances, and then within like a 2 year period, like they killed it. It was sad to see. Rocky Horror is a good Halloween movie. Funny as hell. I love Tim Curry as an actor. I really do. One of his favorite roles for me and was Cardinal Richelieu in Three Musketeers. That dude made an amazing Richelieu with his body language, his delivery. He really did a good job. But I love Tim Curry as an actor in general. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great streaming shows that deal with spooky, scary, and like we're wanting to do some roundtable chats and stuff on real paranormal stories and some more cryptids and plenty of stuff for the season. So hopefully we'll make your list of things to watch for the season. Also, see, I stick to the old classics, Universal monsters. Yeah, that's ones you don't hear a lot about. Good slashers. I love the original Freddy Krueger's. I really do. Those are just like childhood movies for me and my wife. Hold on, I saw somebody asking that had my name in it. Um, let's see, Sophia, hi Drake. I've tried your fast money spell a couple times, but haven't had any luck with it. Do you have any ideas what I might be doing wrong. Thanks. I don't know what you're using it on, Sophie. So if you're using it for lottery, you got to look at what you're using and how you're using it. So that spell specifically is designed to generate fast money, not necessarily wealth or anything like that. That spell does function best if you're putting yourself in a scenario to get it. If I remember right, one of the examples I gave is I like to use it when I'm going to a casino or something to stack my odds. But I also prefer to use it when I'm doing something that's going to generate money. Like if I was to be doing a fundraising event, I would use that spell because it's going to allow me to generate money. You have to be putting yourself in a position for the money. It's harder to get it to work because all magic has to work against the odds. That's why, if you've seen my video on lottery magic, for example, lottery magic is not a good idea because not only does your spell have to take into account every single person playing the lottery, which is an astronomical number, and makes it very unlikely, even with the odds stacked in your favor, that you're going to win. But you also have the fact that other people, intentionally and unintentionally, are also doing magic. So it dilutes the actual magic as a whole and just keeps stacking the odds. So you need to make sure you're putting yourself in a position where that money can come in. Now, some people's like, well, I do it and I go to work. Technically, that's true. Technically, that is true. That is a true statement. But something at work has to be able to open up to bring that extra money if you're wanting that extra money. And the way employment is, especially in the economy, if you're here in the U.S., I don't know where you're at, but here in the U.S. right now with the economy the way it is, extra money floating around your standard operating employment, probably not a good, the odds aren't good there. It's probable. So I've seen it work in that scenario, but it doesn't always work even when the economy is good because, day-to-day procedures are what they are. But when it does work, it's usually an opportunity opens, and sometimes the person paid attention to it. Sometimes they ignored it. There's a lot of things in there, unfortunately. So if you're doing it, make sure you're putting yourself in a situation where that extra money can find an entrance into your life. Magic has to work on available pathways. Has to. Another good example is people, I've had people say, well, I found 20 or $100 when I did the spell on the street. Yes, it can do that. But again, you have to be out there in the world walking around. I've got friends, their entire shut-ins, like they can spend weeks without leaving their house. They're not going to get extra money most likely because they're not going to be, they're putting themselves out in the world less and less. But if you have a pathway for it, make sure you have a pathway, I guess is the easiest way to say it. I've done it before, and at random, I've seen a spike in coffee cup sales or tapestry sales or even course sales at the school because, those are pathways for money to get to me and utilize those. So you got to make sure there is an open pathway. And the open pathway, the odds are realistic. Like technically playing the lottery, there's a pathway for money. The odds are just unrealistic, if that makes sense. Jackie, I've never really liked being scared and never understood the desire to do a story to go to a story to be scared. Though I found some spooky, magical stuff beautiful. But why do you think people like to be scared? Actually, that is an amazing question, Jackie. So the sensation of being scared and the adrenaline that comes with it actually is a very primal and natural state of human existence. And it puts all our senses on high alert. It makes the world come in super clear because it's triggering all those survival mechanisms that are also triggered during the sensation of like fight or flight. Now, this means that if you're there, you're having fun, you're enjoying friends, you guys are getting scared together, all that enjoyment is going to be ramped up because it's coming through that fight or flight sensation. But it also taps into a natural instinct of survival. It really does. There is something truly fulfilling about going through a scenario that triggers that and you survive. Let me give an example, a very simplistic example that almost anyone can relate to. Most of us will say we don't like being scared. And in truth, most of these horror movies don't actually scare me. Um, but at the same time, I do understand the people who enjoy jump scares. Because anyone who's ever been walking through town or whatnot almost stepped off a curb and got plowed over by a Buick or a semi or anything and yanks their foot back just in time, or their buddy grabs them and yanks them back. They're all like, oh, God, what the hell? And your heart's going a million beats a minute and you realize you almost died. But you didn't die. And you just feel fucking amazing. And all day long, or at least for a few hours after that, everything seems better. Everything just seems a little better. The sky is more blue. The rains, you can smell the rain clearer. The day's just better because you didn't die. And it's because of those same hormonal chemical reactions that are triggered during fight or flight. And that, the after, is the enjoyable sensation. And a lot of people, most people who enjoy scary movies, they're actually writing that. They're actually writing the after, not the during, if that makes sense. And to some extent, I say that's a good thing, because the more in tune you are to that sensation, the more functional your fight or flight instincts are. One problem modern man has, like paralyzing fear, the concept of paralyzing fear. We are so removed from our natural environment and the need to fight for survival that discomfort and fear become things that actually are problematic. Fear in and of itself should not be a problem. It should be a benefit. Fear is one of those warning instincts that help to ramp you up. Paralyzing fear is when your fear hits a point where so much adrenaline is being dumped into your body freezes because you're not used to that state of being. From a survival perspective, that's a de-evolution. That's a bad thing. Now, you can go down conspiracy roads and say, the powers that be, the politicians, all these, they've purposely tried to weaken us in this way. Fine. But honestly, I think more than conspiracies, I think people have chose comfort over being self-sufficient. But that's a topic for another time. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I do think a lot of people like scary movies. If I get a chance, I'll watch it. Stranger Things. That is. I know. I just realized I didn't read the question out. My friend says we need to get back to horror movies that do go home. That you go home from looking over your shoulder and checking the locks. We really do. We really do. I mean, I've had a life where at this point in time, I've seen such evil in humans that the monsters in movies don't bother me. And but at the same time, I still enjoy those movies. And I like them from more of a psychological perspective and a story perspective. Because as far as horrors and atrocities, due to some of the work I've done in the past, I'm not sure you can put in front of me a movie that would be worse than what I've seen. That's the best way I can say it. But yeah, I would agree with your buddy there. I go to scary games for my horror fix. That makes sense. That's one reason I love D&D. Like I love the dungeon crawl ability in it. I love the ability to communicate and push and challenge. But at the same time, like I truly believe we need to get out of our comfort zone in life, in our real life. And we need to face hardships and we need to put ourselves in challenges. I think that's what helps us as human beings. And yeah, horror games are a great way to do it. Like what was it? Resident Evil earlier games, I loved them. Spooky, creepy. They weren't just all gore and shoot up. Like they actually would set the mood and everything. Then for a while, they just like the story disappeared, right? And I quit playing them. I've been told some of the newer ones are bringing the story back. I don't know if I'll ever take the time to get back into them, but they used to have a story. Story is more important in all aspects. I truly believe this. And that's honestly also why, if you look at Hollywood these days, Hollywood is failing because they're just regurgitating a bunch of crap, just over and over, just more and more crap. No one's writing good stories anymore, um, with very, very few exceptions. And you write a good story that people can connect with truly without pushing an agenda or some bullshit, your stuff's going to sell. But they don't want to do that no more. Very few people want to do that. Now, there's a few actors and whatnot that are coming out and saying they're tired of this and they're actually wanting to go back to good story writing. And I'm hoping that's true. I know one example I can think of, Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he's even said that the budget for Deadpool 1 made them find creative solutions for a lot of things. And the Deadpool movies have been highly, highly successful. Absolutely successful. And a lot of people were worried when the Deadpool 3, which I haven't seen it, was going to be under the Disney umbrella. Now, it's my understanding that Ryan Reynolds fought tooth and nail to forego any agenda bullshit that Disney has become known for and instead write a story. Tell the story he wrote from the beginning for these two characters. And as part of that, he didn't get the budget either. Like they didn't give him the full budget they were initially going to give because he's like, not going to do that. And I got a lot of friends that have seen that movie. None of them have spoiled it for me, and I'm looking forward to watching it. But every one of them said that is the first movie in like 10 years that came from Disney that they liked. So again, you see, story holds up. And a story, a good story, okay, a good story, it should challenge you. It should challenge you emotionally and it should challenge you mentally. And yes, it could offend you and it probably should offend you. A good story takes you through all those ranges of emotions. Because if it doesn't, you're not connecting with it. And they've gotten so afraid of offending people, they're no longer telling a good story or they're pushing an agenda. And it's sad. Like, comedians can't even tell jokes anymore. I mean, and comedians used to be like the backbone of hard times. They really did. Because they would take this thing that was awful and they would make a joke of it so that, yes, you're facing it. Yes, you're dealing with it. But at the same time, you're starting to laugh. And it brought community together through their jokes. We need more George Carlins. We need more Richard Pryors. We need more Eddie Murphys. We need more of these individuals that aren't afraid to poke and push and ask questions. We need them. I truly believe that. And it's storytelling. Comedians tell jokes, But you watch any stand-up routine, there's also a story unraveling in it. We need that story. Storytellers are highly, highly important, but they have to be allowed the freedom to challenge, offend, and scare, to tell a truly good story. Odin, king of the Aesir, was the god of poetry and story. Think about that. And somebody just dropped a super chat in there. Mathis, thank you very much. I did not see the clocks get thrown, but then I'm way behind here. So, yep. All right. If I missed your question, I do apologize. I did run over. Sorry to keep you all late on a Sunday. I do need to get off here, though. Since my med alarm went off. Jade's had to deal with family functions this weekend, so she may be tuckered out. Who knows? Maybe she's curled up with a stuffed clock sleeping right now. That'd probably be good for her. Loved George Carlin. I really did. For those who haven't seen George Carlin, go check him out. Also, old school Monty Python. Check that stuff out. When John Cleese said he would not change one of the old Monty Python routines because people's like, that might be offensive. And he's like, I don't give a shit. John Cleese, you're my hero, man. Get out there, tell a good story, be willing to offend. It's a good thing. We have to get out of those comfort zones for good stories. We got to push those envelopes, right? Good stories are about that. They should take you through that emotional gamut. They really should. Truth be told, that's one of the things, like I stopped playing video games. I used to love video games for story. I absolutely enjoyed the stories. And they got away from stories. It just became just first-person shooter or grindy, pointless questing. And that's not me. Give me a good story with some meat and well-developed characters. Well-developed characters. Well-developed. Because, I mean, a good example, the Disney Star Wars trilogy. There were not developed characters in there. That was the problem. That was the big problem. They just kind of rushed everything through with no reasons. It could have been good. It could have. It really could have. I wanted it to be. I kept telling everybody, give it a chance, give it a chance, give it a chance. That's what you get for being hopeful sometimes, though. All right, everybody, take it easy. Have a great one. I will see you next week. Locals members, keep an eye out. I will be over there popping in, sharing some of this stuff. I look forward to sharing this holiday season with my community. I really, really do. I think this is going to be an amazing holiday. And I think this is going to be a fun tradition moving forward. So remember, check out the post over at Locals. If you don't remember the rules for the costume contest or the categories, it is over there. I just posted it fresh today. And I look forward to seeing everyone's submissions. I know you guys are extremely creative. All right. And with that, everybody, take care and good night.